Hey, Southeast Missouri sports fans. Enjoy the show and want to take it on the go? You can find every episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or YouTube. Tune in as they air by searching SEMO Sports Zone wherever you may be listening. Welcome to SEMO Sports Zone presented by A-Corp Sports. My name is Drew. With me as always is my co-host Dave. David, it feels like it's been a month since we've done a show, and it's only been a week.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on here in the, I tell you what, December hits and it's full of everything. Yep. Just full of everything.
Tournament a week. Going to be 2 tournaments in a week pretty soon coming up. Hope everybody's enjoying their holiday season. You're hearing this on Monday. We won't be back until after Christmas, but tis the season.
Yeah, tis the season, and basketball is in full force. Some good tournaments this last week, and we got some more coming up. Obviously, this after Christmas, so it's a fun time.
Yeah, I think this whole week was very implication heavy. A lot of teams that might not have been happy with their seeds feel a little vindicated about it, and some teams that got higher seeds maybe feel a little overinflated.
Yeah, I've never seen so many fans upset about the seeds of a tournament. I mean, you still got to play the tournament. The seeds don't mean a thing. I don't understand the anger for some of it. I mean, use it for motivation if you have to, but I'm like, I don't understand, some of the anger with some of the seeds and, I mean, whatever. I mean, you still got to play the games. And so I'm I don't put any real stock into the seeds. It's just, hey, go out and beat the teams that you got to beat. And you're going to have to beat some good teams if you're going to win a tournament anyway. So.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get into last week's scores. I want to talk about this first. Dexter Jackson, 43-45.
Man, Dexter, they just did not end the game well. I mean, you lead 43-38, I think, with about 4.5 minutes left, and you don't score the rest of the game. And, it's a game they should have won. They fell behind real early and just didn't play well down the stretch, which is becoming very common for Dexter now, and that's not a good thing. Just making inexplicable mistakes, it's just one of those things where they outplayed Jackson, in my opinion. But they just couldn't close the game out, and Jackson took advantage of it and won. I mean, Jackson's a really good team, and Dexter can look really good for 3.5 quarters, but they just haven't been able to close. But a good win for Jackson to come. They built a big lead, kind of let it slip away. Dexter's defense really got after him, but Jackson was able to find a way to win. Jackson
is a very competitive opponent. It doesn't matter what team plays them. It always feels like they play, I don't want to say to their opponent, but in some ways it kind of does feel like that, where they're not in that upper echelon of teams, but they're always competitive.
Yeah, this Jackson team is a little bit different than some in the past too, because I think this Jackson team likes to get up and down the floor a little bit more than some of their past teams. In their past teams, whenever you kind of slow it down, it's kind of the Dexter thing. You slow it down, you're not an up-tempo team, and that kind of keeps teams hanging around. But this Jackson team seemed to thrive a little bit more as they were going more up-tempo, and I think Dexter kind of slowed them down and kind of caused some problems there. But you're right. Jackson seems to always play these close games, although they blew Festus out on Friday night. I mean, Jackson is a very good team, and Dexter played them to the wire and probably should have beaten them. So, I mean, there's something to be said for that. But at the same time, you got to win these games whenever they're there to win, and you got to figure out a way. And I thought that Dexter was over that hump. They had that struggle last year of losing these close games, and you kind of early this year, you thought that they were maybe over that hump, but apparently they're not.
Well, especially and a lot was said about that closer loss to Sykeston. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Dexter kind of rode off of that a little bit and just didn't, you get your highs, you get your lows. And right now this is a very low week for Dexter.
Yeah, it's not a good week. We'll talk about the Woodland one here later, but man, that was just a whole other way to lose a game. But Dexter it's like they're finding ways to lose these close games, and you need to win some of these just for confidence for your own team, because as you get into these close games, you start thinking in the back of your mind, well, here we go again. We're probably going to lose this one. And Dexter's got to figure it out. But for Jackson, it was a good win. They got the top seed in that Christmas tournament, and they kind of look like they're on a collision course to have maybe a championship game with Woodland, who again, we'll talk about them later, but it's that looks like it's going to be a really nice tournament.
To talk about a team that has no issue with confidence whatsoever, Twin Rivers at Puxico, 39-76.
Yeah, Puxico has no problem with confidence. They will talk about themselves and they will let you know. But they're good. Their defense just shut Twin Rivers down. It's just a really nice game from them. Obviously Burchard, Hancock, they're going to do their thing. But
how many points did Burchard score in this game?
I want to say he had 39. I think
39.
Yeah, he's had like 41, 40, 39. So it's pretty good bingo numbers there. But he's a great player. I mean, he's a good scorer, and he does a lot of things for them. Hancock's a good player. They're a good team. I mean, there's nothing you can say that about them that they're a good team, and they just completely and defensively they really got after Twin Rivers. Twin Rivers turned it over a ton, and Puxico took advantage.
It just feels like local teams, especially, don't have any answers for that.
No, and especially, it's especially some of these teams that don't handle the ball well. We talked at the seed Bloomfield Christmas Tournament seed meeting or seed show that Twin Rivers really kind of lacks a ball handler, and those teams that lack a ball handler, Puxico will just feast on. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those, and they did that, and that pressure just gets to you, and you just will turn it over a lot, and that's what happened here.
And then moving on, I watched this game. Thought it was a pretty good game. Hayti at Sykeston, 65. Oh, sorry. Yep. Yeah, 65-84.
Yeah, this is a really nice game. Hayti's good. I mean, they've got some tremendous quickness. They shoot the ball well at times. Problem is they don't always shoot the ball well. When they don't, they run into some trouble. But I really like that Key Anthony Taylor. He's like just a 6'5" guy that can just jump out of the gym. Mm-hmm. But they need a little bit more inside. But, Sykeston kind of, they hung around with Sykeston for a while, and then Sykeston kind of did what they did, and they kind of pulled away in the second half. And they just had no answer for Murray. Murray, whenever he wants to, he can just turn it on. He's such a good athlete and good player. And he just kind of flicked the switch and kind of went nuts. I think he had 30 something points, 31 points. And and they tried to guard Sykeston. Man, that's tough to do too. So it's just Sykeston's a good, really, really good team, and a lot better than I think what people thought they were going to be when the year started.
Yeah, and Hayti started really slow in this game too. Yeah. I think that was very much to their detriment. Sykeston built up that buffer lead, and Hayti closed it to about 5 points, somewhere in the second, I think. Yeah. But like you said, Sykeston they ran away with it after they got a lead going, and that's really hard to stop. When Murray wants to put a pin in the game, he puts a pin in it.
Yeah, and it's tough too because Sykeston keeps that pressure on you, so then it just wears on you. And so some teams, you'll see a lot of teams into the second quarter, they'll start the last couple minutes of the second quarter, they'll kind of turn the ball over a lot, and Sykeston will go on a run. Either that, or you'll hit about mid third quarter, and it just kind of wears on teams, and that pressure does. And this was kind of the mid third quarter that kind of wore on them, and then Sykeston just went on a big run, and that was pretty much it. But Hayti played them well for a while and showed how good they could be. I think Hayti is still trying to figure some things out, still trying to get in the groove of basketball season. It seemed like they got a later start than everybody else.
Yeah,
I don't think they played their first game till December 12th, so they haven't played a ton of games yet. So a lot of these other teams have played a lot more games, and Hayti is just not in the swing of things yet.
But as far as like athletes, speed, and height, Hayti's got it.
Yeah, they've got it. They remind me a lot of Charleston. I think they may be a little bit better than Charleston by the end of the season. I mean, I think they have that ability. Just they can shoot it. They can get out and pressure you on defensively, and I think they're going to be a really nice team by the end of the year. They're not there yet. They had a tough loss on Friday night as well. That I think they probably should have won that game. But I think they're still just trying to figure it out. But they'll get it going here after Christmas, I think. And once they get clicking, I think they're going to be a pretty good team.
Absolutely. Moving on, we've got Woodland at Bernie, 68-56.
Man, Woodland just kind of went at Bernie there for a while. They hit some threes early, hit 7 threes. Bernie only hit 3. Bernie struggled to shoot the ball. Woodland sent double and triple teams to Aycock, really kind of, he still got 23, but they earned every one of them. Mm-hmm. Just a really nice game, from Woodland. Bernie made a couple of runs, but Woodland it seemed like every time they would make a run, Woodland would just, hit a big shot or two and just pull away. I really like Hobgood. He got to the rim and got some easy buckets. It wasn't just 3-pointers, and he's really improved his game through the course of the year. But Woodland, man, they just have a lot of lot of different weapons, Kinder, Shock, Layton. I mean, they've just got a lot of different guys that can do a lot of different things.
I think Woodland right now is one of those like really quiet, good teams. Like they're winning all the games they need to and winning them mostly definitively. But, I feel like they're not getting as much publicity as they probably should be. But I don't know if I'm off base saying that.
Yeah, I think they're a really good team, and they haven't. They're kind of a little bit like Puxco. They hadn't just played just a really super tough schedule early. They won their tournament, but they won it going away against some teams that probably are just a little bit below them. So, but now they're playing. They play Bernie this week. They play Dexter this week, and got 2 good wins there. So I mean, they're a team that is going to be really good. I mean, they've got some really good players, good coaching staff there. So they're a team is going to be a force to be reckoned with, not only in the Christmas tournament coming up, but in districts again. I think they're a team that can make a run at state.
Well, I think this is also, I mean, maybe I'm off base saying this too, but this feels a lot like last year of just like, and we're not underestimating Puxco at this point, but we were kind of getting high on Woodland, but it kind of feels like we're on that same trajectory right now.
Yeah, Woodland was good last year too. So I mean, and they both made the Final Four. I mean, they obviously, we were on point with the talking about how good they were. They end up finishing 4th in state, and I mean, and I think they're just as good this year. I mean, I think they rely a little bit on the 3-point shot, which can be a little shaky, but man, they've just got good players all around, and that's a good team.
And then, for Bernie, I mean, when John Aycock is triple teamed, that guard play's got to step up.
Yeah, and the thing with Bernie is they're another team that shoots a lot of threes, and whenever you miss a lot of threes, you got to have somebody in there to rebound, and you can't just have one guy in there to rebound. And so I think that sometimes I think they depend a little bit too much on Aycock for those boards, and whenever you've got guys that are double and triple and teaming him down low and kind of forcing him out a little bit, it kind of takes him a little bit out of the rebounding realm as well. So it's just one of those things where it's matchups in some instances, but Bernie's a good team as well. They're not a team that's to be overlooked, but if they're hitting their outside shots, they're a lot better than when they're not, and that's a lot. That's just the way of the game.
Do you think this is a good loss? Just kind of get that punch in the mouth and then kind of wake up.
Yeah, I don't know if there was ever a good loss, but I don't. I mean, it's a game that kind of, okay, we need to improve on these things. Sure. It's a game that can kind of show Coach Long what you need to do, and man, they came out against Bell City and they improved on a few things. So yeah, it's an unfortunate loss for Bernie, but at the same time, I mean, they played a really good team, and they gave them a fight. It was just Woodland had too much.
And then we don't really have notes on this game, but I'm just going to mention it anyway. Delta at Meadow Heights, 105-35. Delta's looking like a pretty good team.
Yeah. We'll maybe mention later in the show, but yeah, Delta is a really good team. They can score. They've got several good players, and they're a team that's kind of flown under the radar because you haven't heard much about them yet. But they're state ranked and deservedly so. They're a good basketball team.
We got a ton of state ranked teams in the area right now.
Yeah, Southeast Missouri got a lot of respect in the opening state polls. A few teams I don't think should have been ranked, but there's other teams I thought that really got. I mean, it was really like they were. Teams or coaches are really impressed with those teams, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. All right, Wednesday night scores. I've got Twin Rivers of Van Buren 68-66.
Yeah, I mean, Twin Rivers comes off a bad loss to Puxco where they were just, not competitive, honestly. Because Puxco just took it to them and comes back, and then we're like, okay, we're going to play the 4 seed Van Buren and beat them. But they didn't turn the ball over, and that's a big thing. Van Buren didn't force as many turnovers, and when you don't turn the ball over, Twin Rivers was able to work the ball and get it to the guys who can make the shots, and that's what they did. And Heckenberg had 22. I mean, he's a good player, but yeah, it's a big difference when you don't turn it over, and that's if Twin Rivers doesn't turn it over, they're a good team.
Narrative-wise, I mean, I feel like this really kind of screws up Van Buren being that 4 seed.
Yeah, and it kind of, Malden kind of is there at the 5 seed saying, hey, we can get them, but then Malden had a loss themselves in the Clarkton tournament, which we'll talk about. But at the same time, match if you go comparing scores and we lost to the 6 seed, a lot of times you can get yourself in trouble with that. So because a lot of times it's matchups and maybe you don't have your A game this night or that night, but it does open some eyes in the tournament. Well, hey, maybe Van Buren is not what we thought Van Buren was, but at the same time, Van Buren can use that as motivation of, hey, now everybody's underestimating us because we had a bad game against Twin Rivers. So there's a lot of things that can be taken from this, but one thing I take from it is Twin Rivers can be good if they don't turn it over.
Yeah,
and that's a big thing for them. And Van Buren needs. They just need a bounce back. They're not a bad team at all. I mean, they're a good team. They've had some good wins this year, and just kind of focus in, see what you can do in the Christmas tournament.
And then moving on, we've got Risco versus Malden, 83-71.
Yeah, well, Risco just jumped on Malden early. I mean, that was and Malden just kind of came out a little sluggish, and Risco made them pay.
This was Eli Rogers' game.
Yeah, I think Rogers had 28 and Fortner 26, if I'm not mistaken, and that was they were just unstoppable, and Malden can struggle at times scoring, and especially scoring inside the paint. They'll in the third place game, on Friday night, they kind of struggled in the paint, hitting some shots, and they did that again. They really kind of took Fowler out of the game, and they need his scoring. And so just a great game plan by Coach Blankenship. It seemed like he was switching defenses, constantly and kind of confusing Malden a little bit, and just a really nice job from Risco and their coaching staff. And whenever Fortner and Rogers get going, they're tough.
Absolutely. For Malden, I mean, the thing about this tournament was I was so surprised about their size, their athleticism, but their lack of paint play.
Yeah, it's just they just don't have that touch, and sometimes that's just early season. As you go along through the season, you'll get that, and they hit a lot of those earlier in the year against Dexter, and they played Donovan well, and I think it's just teams are figuring out how to defend Malden a little bit better, and so now Malden's got to make some adjustments, and they were able to come out from Malden. I think it's just energy and aggressiveness. Mm-hmm. I mean, like they've got to they've got to stay they've got to really stay after them defensively, and I think they kind of feed off that. They really feed off big threes and dunks and things like that, and that usually comes from turnovers and forcing turnovers, and it's just builds on their energy. But they've got to play with a lot of energy to be successful.
Yeah, I feel like that's the biggest thing that I kind of take away is that they look like a team. They look like a full together team. The energy's not there sometimes, or it's just like get hyped. Like you need that.
Yeah, sometimes it just seems like they're going through the motions and they're just not. But they've got some guys that play hard. I really like Dobbins. He always seems to be playing hard, diving after the ball and everything. I think the team needs to feed off him a little bit at times, and this tournament, this Clarkton tournament, Fowler, they kind of got after Fowler a little bit, made it tougher for him to score. And whenever you're kind of getting out on him, making it tougher for him, somebody else has to step up and score. And so I think that's something that Malden will work toward as they get into this Christmas tournament.
Absolutely. Friday night, got Scott City at Madrid County, 77-49.
Yeah, Scott City, I mean, they're a good team. I mean, they just took it to New Madrid, and those are some Class 3 schools, and I think Scott City showed that they're the class. And again, New Madrid turnovers and just things like that bite them, and Scott City took advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, New Madrid's got to figure it out at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, they're New Madrid is it's kind of the same situation as they had last year. They're a young team still, and they're just trying to figure it out. And I think they will, but it's just going to take some time.
Scott City was a little bit unhappy with their 6th seed in the Cape tournament, but hey, prove everybody wrong if you got it.
Yeah, and look, you win your games. You may get a Cape Central team that I'm not high on without Edwards, and we don't know if he'll be playing then or not. So we'll see, and so that's a game that they can win and get into that semifinal game, maybe against a Woodland, and see what happens there. So hey, it's a tournament that you can have a lot of success in. Don't worry about your seed. Worry about how you play in the tournament.
Absolutely. Next game I've got on the list, I think you have a lot to talk about in this one. Dexter Woodland, 62-64.
Oh, man. Jack Buck said it best when he said, I don't believe what I just saw. It was, there's new ways to lose a game. And Dexter just fell apart late in that game. And just some crazy things, unexplainable things happened in that game late, and not going to go into them in detail. The game's online if anybody wants to see it, but just some ways to lose a game that I've just not seen before, and just some not aware of the game situation, not aware of just bad instances. And Dexter they led by 13 in the first half, played so well too, And that's the thing is they can play so well. One thing for Dexter, though, they get into foul trouble, and they don't have a deep bench. We've mentioned that on this show before. They don't have a deep bench, and they don't shoot free throws well. They were 6 of 16 from the free throw line. Woodland, 26 of 31. And, I mean...
Make your free throws.
I mean, yeah, you got to make your free throws. You're not going to win close games if you don't make your free throws, and Woodland can. And Woodland did. Woodland, they looked down and out a couple of times in this game. They didn't shoot it well at all. Kinder really struggled from outside, but at the same time, they just kept with it, kept getting after Dexter, and made plays when they needed to make plays, made free throws when they need to make free throws, and that's what a good team does. Good teams, even when they don't play well, find a way to win, and that's what Woodland did. Dexter just gave them the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, for Woodland, I mean, you're hitting that 1-2 spot in Starter County again.
Yeah, and this pretty much I would say, depending on what happens in the Christmas tournament, but that might put Dexter in like a 3 or 4 seed again, in the Stoddard County tournament. But yeah, I mean, Coach Allen's got to be pulling his hair out. I mean, with some of the things that Dexter has done to lose some of these games, and they're right there. Then they play so well. That's the thing that is, they'll play so well for 3 quarters, but just it's unfortunate. But Woodland again, they played, they did what they had to do to win and found a way to win. And again, that's what good teams do.
Absolutely. And then next up, we've got Leopold at Delta, 57-74.
Yeah, Delta, this was kind of a good statement win for Delta. Hornbuckle, he played well. He had 22. I mean, but their pressure, it just gets to you. They are a lot like Sykeston in the fact that their pressure just will continue. They're relentless with their pressure, and eventually it'll wear you down. And it eventually wore Leopold down. So Delta, I mean, they're a really nice team. They're probably the best team in Class 1 around here right now. Now we got a long season to go, but but right now, beating Leopold, I think they look a little bit better than Bell City. You've got you've got Risco down south, Cooter down south, but right now, just eye test tells me that Delta is probably better. But again, long season, but Delta is a really nice team.
Absolutely. And then revenge game, Puxco Thayer, 59-46.
Yeah, I don't. It was a good win for Puxco to go on the road and get this win. Thayer's a little down this year. They're
okay.
I mean, they're a little down.
Put an asterisk on it.
I'm gonna put an asterisk on it. I will, because they're, it's not the Thayer team of last year. It's not the Thayer team that's beat you the last few years. But at the same time, it's still going on the road beating a Thayer team, which is a good win. It's a really good win. I think Puxco was favored in this game. I don't think this is one of those that Puxco was. I didn't expect Puxco to go over there and lose this game, where last year it was kind of like, ooh, this is going to be, this could go either way. But again, it's a good win for Puxco. I'm not saying it's not. It's a good win to go over there and get that win on the road.
Yeah. I mean, no notes from me. I mean, that's exactly what you said. Obviously, everybody kind of said Thayer looks a little bit down this year compared to what they were last year. But, Puxco looks about where they were last year. I don't know. It's hard to gauge. Like, just comparing last year's team and this year's team, I don't know where they kind of sit, but it feels like it's just like millimeters of difference at this point. Yeah,
they're a very good basketball team, and they're rolling again this year just like they did last year. I mean, the teams are different, but they're both very good teams. And so this is a very good Puxco team, and I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying that they're not as good as they were last year. I mean, that's all I was saying. So yeah.
And then next up, I've got Sykeston and Notre Dame, 73-45.
Yeah, Sykeston just blew them out. I mean, Kobe Thomas, I think, had 39, 10 threes. I mean, that's
broke a school record.
Yeah, I mean, and when you get him going, and then you have Murray, and Murray will just feed him the ball. Murray doesn't have, in Murray's mind, he doesn't have to score every game. He's just feeding him the ball, and Sykeston, played really well in this game, and second time they played Notre Dame, second time they've blown Notre Dame out. Yeah. I mean, it's just the haves and have-nots at this point between those two. Yeah,
I mean, hey, a win's a win. Yeah. Craig Hallfield's going to take that every time.
Yeah, just go in there, take care of business, and that's what they were able to do. I mean, there's nothing. Hey, if they're going to give you those threes, you take them, and Kobe Thomas was able to hit them.
Sure. Clarkton Christmas Tournament, We've got Malden versus Donovan, 54-48.
Again, this was a game. I thought Donovan played really well for the most part of this game, but Malden just kind of turned it on right there in the fourth quarter and put them away. I mean, Donovan hung in there as best they could, but Malden made some plays down the stretch, and Malden can look good at times. I mean, they can look really good at times when they bring that energy, bring that defense, force some turnovers, and they were able to hit some outside shots there. Harris hit a couple of big shots, and they can look really good at times, especially when they bring that energy.
For Donovan, I feel like they were very impressive at the very start of this tournament. Still impressive in this game. I think what this game shows, though, is that Donovan's going to be more problematic for teams. Not to say that they're going to win out against teams a lot, but they are going to stick around a lot more than you want them to. Yeah,
Donovan, they just don't have much size. They have Haygood, who's about 6'3", but about all the size that they have, and he doesn't do a lot of posting up. And so they have a lot of they shoot a lot of threes, and so you've got to hit some threes, and they're kind of spotty on that. But they're a team, if they're hitting from outside, they're a tough team because they've got some kids that can shoot, but they've got to be consistent with that. And I think they're still trying to find that consistency. But I think they proved that they were probably better than their 14 seed in this tournament. But at the same time, we'll see when they play this tournament.
Their defense looked like they frustrate people more than you'd think.
Yeah, they get after you. I mean, they get after you defensively, and they have improved from the beginning of the year too. I mean, they're a team that has gotten better as this year's gone along, and Coach Dilbeck, is to be credited for that. I mean, because they have gotten better. But yeah, they and obviously just their game against Malden. I mean, that was a completely they got beat by 20 something the first time they played them, and they were in this game to the very end. So that just shows how much they've improved.
Absolutely. And then a championship game, South Penobscot versus Risco, 60-58.
Man, this was a fun game. It was a fun game. This tournament, a lot of people kind of overlook this tournament a little bit, but it's a really nice tournament. It's a fun tournament. Got some good smaller schools in there, and this was a great championship game. It was kind of back and forth. Risco built a big lead, and then South Pem turns their defense on. South Pem just feeds off turnovers and just beating you down the floor, and you cannot turn the ball over against them because when they do, they're so fast. It's just you just can't beat them down the floor. And then Risco just kept coming and kept sticking in there, and then they made a run at the end, and had a chance to win it on a shot at the end, and just it just came up short. But just a great game with two really good coaches, really good teams.
I think for Risco, I think this was a great tournament for you. Knowing your seeding in the BCT, everything like that, what you're coming in with. I mean, winning out would have felt better. To lose it by 2 points probably doesn't feel great. At the same time, all the takeaways you get from this game and just from this tournament, I feel like it's going to elevate you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, South Pem, they bring something that a lot of other teams don't, and that is just some intense pressure defense. And they are just constantly, again, we talked about it with Sykes and we talked about it with Delta, and South Pem is right there. And honestly, South Pem's quickness is probably better than both of those teams. I would say it's better than even Sykeston's. I think that their quickness is just unreal how quick they are.
The ability to slash and get in the paint and get those quick points all the time, like it's a constant threat. It's tough to deal with.
And Ty Campbell, he has such great hands, such quick hands. He just pokes the ball free, and you don't even see him coming, and he just pokes it free. And once he does, it's like an easy layup on the other end because you can't catch him. He's so fast. And they do a great job. South Pem does a great job in transition. They're tough to stop. They know how to use their bodies, draw fouls. And so you've got to get them into a half court game and not turn the ball over. I think that's how you beat South Pem. Risco was able to do that early. And they were able to make some stuff, happen late by turning them over. But at the same time, South Pem, whenever they get out in transition, man, they're fun to watch.
Absolutely. It was for as a whole tournament, like you said, pretty fun, easy to overlook. The first half of it is kind of, it's a little bit more, you kind of know, it feels very chalky. But towards the end, and good for South Penn being back in this tournament, and being the 1 seed and winning it.
Yeah. It was fun. And they are a good team. I've been on them all year saying how good they are. I really like them. I think, they're a team that can maybe make some noise in districts in Class 2. But they're fun to watch. Risco's fun to watch. I mean, that's it. Malden is another team that's fun to watch. These are some teams that
Clarkton was fun to watch.
Yeah, Clarkton was fun to watch, and these are teams. Clarkton's got a really nice freshman who's going to be really good by the time he's a senior. There's a lot of good teams in this thing that are fun to watch, and you get in there and it's just a small school tournament that's brings a lot of fans, and it was loud and just very entertaining basketball.
I'm sure we talked about it last year too, but it's every time I go in that Clarkton gym for this tournament, I feel like I get hit with all that nostalgia from when I was a kid of watching like my brothers play, things like that, of just like, okay, I'm back in this spot.
Yeah, it was the first time I'd been back at this tournament in 15 years or more, and it was I'd forgotten how much fun it was, and it's just a great atmosphere, great hospitality room, but just a great overall atmosphere, and they do a great job running that tournament there, and they've done it for a long time, and it's a nice tournament.
Coach McBroom, if you're listening, probably are. Appreciate you immensely.
Yeah, fantastic. We were treated extremely well there, and it's just a great tournament overall.
You want to get to Dave's dozen?
Sure. Let's see who I can make mad this week, apparently.
I love it. I think it's great.
I mean, this is hard. This is not easy. I mean, trying to narrow this down with some of these teams, but I say that every week. So,
number 12.
All right, number 12. I'm going to go Poplar Bluff. They had a good week. Good week for them. They beat Saxony, then they went up to Waynesville and won a couple games up there against some nice teams. So I'm going to put them at 12. Number 11, I have Delta. I got them in my poll for the first time, and number 10, Scott City. I know that they'll probably complain about being 10, but I mean, they're in it.
You're on the list.
They're on the top 10 or top 10.
And this is every class. This isn't just like small schools,
right? Yeah,
because we did that last year.
Yeah, last year.
I think it's more fun too.
They're more fun for you.
Hey, listen, if you're going to play these teams, you're going to get ranked with these teams.
Yeah, and I'm fine with it. So I've got Scott City at 10. I've got Charleston at 9 and Notre Dame at 8, even though Notre Dame took it on the chin a couple of times, but they beat Charleston. So I've got to keep them above Charleston. So, I mean, and probably a lot of these other teams, below them would probably get taken on the chin to some of those teams that they played this week. So,
okay.
I've got 7 at Bernie. That's Bernie. 6, Dexter. I've got them falling all the way to 6. At 5, I've got South Pemiscot. At 4, I have Woodland. 3, Jackson, 2, Puxico, and 1, Sykeston.
Okay. So, I mean, I think it's a very, it's a good list. It's hard to dispute against. I mean, I would say maybe Hayti deserves to be on it, but that's just me.
Can't lose to St. Genevieve on Friday night.
That's just me. I don't know.
I mean, you've got to win. You've got to win a game.
It's week to week.
I mean,
it's a week to week list.
Yeah.
So there's chances for them to come back.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're one of those teams that's just off. But that loss on Friday night to St. Genevieve, took them off any list I would have had. I mean,
sure.
they were kind of there with Poplar Bluff and some others there. Risco's kind of sneaking in around there. But after Hayti lost to St. Genevieve, I'm gonna have to go with Poplar Bluff there, because Poplar Bluff is playing better. I mean, and their losses in the SEMO Conference Tournament are looking better. To Jackson and Notre Dame. Obviously, Notre Dame, isn't playing. They took it on the chin to Sykeston, but a lot of teams have taken it on the chin to Sykeston. So I mean, you can't really hold that against them too much.
All right. Looking ahead. Christmas tournaments, or do you want to talk about the big game on Monday?
Let's talk about the big game on Monday first. I know that's a lot of people are looking to that game. That ought to be a fun one.
Proving ground. Okay. You talk your talk.
Mm-hmm.
Now you get a chance to walk your walk. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I'm hoping for a great game. Puxico versus Sykeston.
Yeah, and this ought to be a really, really good game. I think it's going to be just a game that is a lot of fun to watch, and I think there's going to be a lot of people there. Puxico, it was no secret. Puxico made it no secret that they beat Sykeston by 30 in the summer. And trust me, Sykeston people have heard that over and over and over and over and over. And, it's summer basketball, means nothing. But at the same time, it is kind of eye-opening. Hey, look, Puxico took it to them like that. So now they have a chance to prove it in the regular season, and we'll see how that happens. Again, Puxico will tell you how good Puxico is. There's no doubt about that. And Sikeston hears that. So the Puxco's not going to be going in sneaking up on Sikeston. I'm going to assume that Sikeston is going to give them their best game, and they're going to be fired up for that game. We know Puxco is going to be fired up for that game. This is a chance for them to prove how good they are. So this is a big game, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be just outstanding.
And just talk about atmosphere really quick. We know the field house's atmosphere. Puxico travels so well.
Oh yeah, it's good. This gym's going to be packed. I mean, Puxico's going to bring the town. I mean, it's going to be a lot of. I mean, this is going to be it's going to be a playoff atmosphere type game. I think it's going to be just a ton of fun. There's just not much you can say about it. It's 1 and 2 in my rankings, and I think they're the 2 best teams in Southeast Missouri. So let's go at it and see who's the best. And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch and see how Burchard and Hancock handle the pressure from Sikeston, and it's going to be fun to see how Sikeston handles that pressure defense that Puxico is going to bring too. You cannot overlook that. Puxico plays good defense, so it's going to be an interesting game, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Obviously, I think you look at how slow Sikeston started against Dexter. That's going to be like a measuring stick of just like, okay, what Sikeston team's coming out? How do you think that's going to all pan out?
Well, yeah, first off, I think I'm going to say that Sikeston overlooked Dexter a little bit. I mean, we were going into that game. A lot of us were going into that game thinking
it was
going to be a blowout. I don't think anybody's going into this game thinking it's going to be a blowout. I've got some text messages from Puxico fans saying they think they're going to win by 15. But I don't think anybody's thinking, any team's going to get beat another by 30. I don't think that's on anybody's agenda. So I think that Sikeston's fired up because they know. I assume they're fired up because getting beat in the summer the way they did, all the talk that there was, and all the talk last year about how Puxico wanted to play Sikeston last year too, and I think
you get your chance.
Yeah, so now's your chance, and Sikeston's heard all that. They're not oblivious to the message boards that Puxico posts on, and I live in Sikeston. I hear it all the time about about Puxico. So yeah, they're not. Nobody's sneaking up on anybody. Nobody's overlooking anybody in this game.
I think if you're an outside fan, you're kind of feasting because it's 2 great teams that playing each other.
Yeah, you can't. This is it. Like I said, they're the 2 best teams in Southeast Missouri this year, and isn't that what you want? And that's who you want to see play, and
Absolutely.
Just see who matches up best against the other. And I think it's going to be an outstanding game. I can't wait to see it
for sure. You can catch that game on the Bulldog Nation Network.
Who do you have? Put you on the spot.
Oh,
you
God.
put me on the spot with my top 12. I'm going to put you on the spot this time.
Close margin. I'm going to take Sikeston by 5.
Good deal.
Who do you have?
Well, I live in Sikeston. I have to take Sikeston, or I can't go. Or I have neighbors, so I'm going to take Sikeston. But I'm going to say it's a close game. I think it's a. But again, I have neighbors, so
sure.
I have to.
Sure.
I have to be able to.
So we can
show
both
my face.
We can both be told we're wrong.
Well, and that's fine. But I'm like, hey, I can't. I don't live in Puxico. I live in Sikeston. I don't have to live with Puxico people.
Sure. All right. Want to talk about Christmas tournament?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Bluefield Christmas Tournament. If you were to reseed it right now, who would you put at the number 1 spot?
If I was to reseed it right now, that's tough. I would probably still. No, honestly, I probably would have put Puxico there to start with. Even though I thought Dexter had earned it, I think. If I'm just going on who I think's the better team, I'm taking Puxico. I think Puxico is the better team, so I probably would have voted that way, but I'm not one of the coaches that gets to vote, so it doesn't make any difference. But right now, probably Puxico. Dexter does have the better resume as far as, but if you look at the resume though, it's better losses. We have 4 losses to 4 really good teams. So really, I'm taking Puxico. Absolutely.
Well, I agree. I think Puxico should be number 1 at this point, but also I just want to backtrack to your statement a little bit early in the episode. I thought you said there was no such thing as a good loss.
That's what I'm saying. That it was sarcasm there. I'm like, it's like, so we're talking about Dexter's, what wins have Dexter had?
Yeah.
We're talking about their losses, I'm Dexter would be my 3 seed. Honestly, just eye test. I think Dexter would be my 3 seed.
Okay. I think Puxico at number 2. We talked about this before we went on air. I think it's better for Puxico to be number 2 too, because then you get to play tougher teams and prove that you've earned your spot in the final if you get there.
Yeah. And there's a lot to that. And plus there's motivation factor. We know that we know very well, Puxco is very, uses motivation to their advantage. Yeah. And so, I'm sure they're going to be motivated to go in there saying, hey, we weren't the top seed we should have been.
And it does feel like we're counting chickens right now because we don't know who's going to be in that final game. I mean, we can make some educated guesses, but that's about it.
Yeah. And I think it's, from the eye test, I think we kind of know, we have a general idea who's probably going to be in that championship game. But, at the same time, I think the championship game in this tournament could be the semifinal game between Puxco and Bernie. In my opinion, they're the two best teams in this tournament. Bernie just doesn't have the resume, but, they look the part at times. They're really good. You compare their score, Dexter lost by 2 to Woodland and Bernie lost by 12. So by that, Dexter's the better team. I think Bernie is a team that, I think Bernie's a team that can give Puxco some problems. I don't think they can. I'm taking Puxco to win this tournament. I'll just give you my pick right now. True. I think Puxco wins this tournament, but at the same time, I think that Bernie can give them a game. I think Bernie can stick with them, and especially if they're hitting their outside shot.
Yeah, I think you don't want to walk in there assuming chalk, but at the same time, I feel like it's easier to believe that right now. I think for Dexter too. I feel like you've really got to prove yourself in this tournament now. Now that you've, got the 1 seed, and then you just had a rough week of games you should have won. And now it's proving time of just like, you make sure you've earned your spot.
Yeah. What do we say in football season when they lost to Park Hills? How are you gonna respond? Are you gonna come out ticked off and play, just play angry? Or are you gonna be like, play a little timid and try not to get, think about things too much? I think if you're Dexter, you just got to play ticked off and be like, hey, we lost these 2 games that we should have won. We're not going to do that again. We're not even going to get into a close game. We're going to blow these teams out. I think that's what you got to do when if you're Dexter, get to that championship game and Dexter has played well. Again, Dexter's played well for 3 quarters, but they just can't put that 4th quarter together. Let's see if Dexter can put 4 full quarters together. If they do, then I think they could win this tournament. But I've yet to see that this year.
Yeah, I guess the only other motivating factor is that, this is Dexter's second home, and they always play great in this tournament, always play great as the 1 seed.
Yeah, they're 8 for 8, as the 1 seed. 8 times they've been the 1 seed. They've won it all 8 times. So let's see if they go 9 for 9. But we'll, it's not going to be easy. Because, like I said, Puxco's good. And even if Bernie knocks off Puxco along the way, then Bernie's a formidable opponent, I think, and Bernie's going to come to play against a Dexter team. So, I think it's going to be a fun tournament. But I think you're looking at 3 teams here that have a chance to win this.
And let's move on to Cape Tournament. We don't really get to cover this one typically. We talked about it a little bit last year. Now we actually get to, bring our whole setup there.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm going to be there for the semifinals and the championships. I think this is a tournament that Woodland can win, and you have a small school that wins it. I think that, obviously our next show we'll know a little bit more about how the first 2 rounds go, but I really feel like this is a tournament that Woodland can win. You want to compare scores. Dexter lost to Jackson by 2, lost to Woodland by 2. So in the same week on the road, both games. So, to me, they, by using that, they kind of, measure up comparably.
1 and 2.
Yeah. And so, I think you're looking at maybe a Jackson Woodland, chalk championship game, but it's a game I think Woodland can win. I think that, and man, if that game happens, you're going to have a lot of fans there rooting for the small school because it just doesn't happen a lot. And so you're going to have a lot of people there, but there's a lot of these other teams that can make some noise. You've got, Charleston, Scott City. Those are teams, and even Notre Dame can make some noise and win some games here and kind of, mess some things up.
Yeah, I think as kind of more closed off as Bloomfield feels at the moment, I feel like Cape feels a lot more open.
Yeah, I think any of the 1 through 6 can make a run and win this tournament. I think even Delta at 8 could cause some problems. I don't think that. I think Jackson poses a real matchup issue with with Delta. But you pull in a big upset there, then who knows? I mean,
sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those that if Delta can pull an upset, I mean obviously Delta has to beat Leopold again. But at the same time, if Delta could pull an upset over a Jackson, that would turn this tournament on its head, I think. And this is a Delta team that's very good. We've talked about them already. That this is a team that can cause a lot of problems with their pressure defense, and Jackson's got to be able to handle that. But I think Jackson just has so much size, and they do handle the ball pretty well. So I think that, I think that's a tough matchup for Delta. But you got to play the games
for sure. This is an exciting time. You can catch both of these tournaments on A Corp Sports starting December 26th.
Yeah, day after Christmas. If you're not outside doing something in the 65 degrees that we have coming after Christmas, which is crazy, but
hey,
I'll take it.
Well, good episode, David. Anything I'm missing?
No, just Merry Christmas to everybody that listens, and Happy Holidays, and hope everybody gets to be with family and has a good Christmas, and then enjoy some basketball because there's going to be plenty of it after Christmas.
All right. This has been the SEMO Sports Zone. We'll catch you after the holidays. See you next time.